Hi folks, welcome back to Stacey Can. Today I am dehydrating leeks. They are kind of like a scallion or green onion. They have that kind of flavor profile, so to speak, and they are a winter vegetable. So this is the January, February, March, little April in there too, is the best time of the year to harvest leeks, and they're fresh this time of the year, even though you can get them year round. What do you use leeks for, in case you're new to the leek arena, is pretty much anything. They go on, they have a lighter flavor than a green onion, again, as mentioned in my opinion. But they are fantastic with soups and stews, and you can sprinkle it on top of like a steak, the dehydrated ones on top of a steak or any of your favorite proteins. You can mix it in with a salad and add a nice little crunchiness to it. And then also, mix it in with scrambled eggs. They've got a big variety of uses. We are gonna use as much of the leek as possible. I did get these a couple days ago because I was at the store and that's when I could get them. And so I am gonna cut off these parts that have kind of dried and wilted. But I'm actually gonna make leek chips as well, because you can use this green section for that to dehydrate too, and you can have a little leek chip if you want. So we can actually dehydrate the entire thing. I am going to cut off the kind of wonky, not so good pieces. And so anyway, but the ingredients that you need are obviously leeks. You're going to need a knife or to cut off the ends. And then definitely need like a food processor or a mandolin, because you want uniform slices when you're dehydrating. That just makes things a little bit easier. Also a big bowl of water. Leeks are grown in sand, a lot of sandy soil, so they get a lot of sand and dirt inside these little crevice areas here. And like this area, I'm gonna cut that off because it's kind of gross and icky. But they can get a lot of dirt on the inside of the, they're kind of like wrapped up almost like wrapping paper or something. Anyway, so they just easily get a lot of dirt in them. So after we're done cutting them, I'm gonna stick them in some water, and the leeks will float and the dirt will sink down. And there's my baby dog Bobo. So that's what we need. We also need a dehydrator. I have a 9-tray dehydrator, so I'm going to use that. You can also use your oven. If your oven gets low enough, you do need it to be about 135 to 140 degrees. 130 to 140. My oven only goes to 170, so I would have to prop it open. To prop open your oven, I would not use a wooden spoon. Some people say to use that in case, because I've had this happen where it got jostled, the oven door did, and the spoon fell, and you just don't want wood in your oven to possibly catch on fire, in my opinion. So tin foil, or wadded up pieces of tin foil is a great way to kind of like prop it open, and you can then mush it or straighten it out to keep it open, to get the right temperature. And so you definitely need a thermometer if you're doing this in the oven. You can also sun dehydrate, etc., but I'm not doing that. I have my 9-tray dehydrator, so that's what I'm using. So with all of that, let's go ahead and get started. So I'm going to cut the ends off of the leek like so, and just keep in mind any of the leek pieces that you don't use, even some of these scrappy pieces, unless they're kind of gross, like moldy or whatever, you can keep this in the freezer and add it to make a stock at some point. So, and that's the same thing you can do with any of the green part of the leeks that you don't want to use. You can make a stock with. So I've just cut the ends off like so, and I'm gonna bring my dehydrator over a little bit. And I'm taking the center piece off, and I'm gonna be keeping most of the green attached, because look, it fits in here just nicely. So then I'm gonna go ahead and stick it through the little hole here and start to process. Now that's about as far as I could go with this. And you see how dirty it is on the inside? So that is definitely one of the reasons why we're gonna soak them in some water here too. And for instance, so for this piece, I will clean it, but I am gonna take off this part is kind of wilted, so I'm gonna cut this part off. And again, we can save it for something else, but then I will just cut these into smaller little pieces, because I am gonna make some leek chips. And I'm gonna cut that in a couple of smaller pieces as well, and see what how tasty these are too. So now that I have the leeks cut, we're gonna go ahead and pop them in the water here to clean them off and just give them just a nice little light soak. So I've washed these off really well, these little leek pieces here, and then you just want to scoop out the leeks that have been in the water, and you just kind of just swish them around like so. It's nothing, you don't have to spend a lot of time with it, and I wouldn't let them soak in there too long either. And just spread them out on a paper towel just to get some of the water off. And then you can take another paper towel if you like and just blot them dry. And I don't know if you can see, you can't really tell too much in this bowl on the film, but there is quite a bit of dirt at the bottom here, so it does work. Now you just want to spread your leeks out on your trays. I am going to put these chip pieces on a completely separate tray though, because they'll take a little bit longer to dehydrate than these pieces here. And these you just want to sprinkle around as evenly as you can on the tray. You know, you can break them up if you want, because sometimes they do dehydrate, or they do kind of cut through in big pieces like this, or a big chunk like this, so it might take a little longer for that piece to dehydrate. But just do your best to get them kind of evenly distributed across your tray. And this is one tray ready to go into the dehydrator. So as you pull open some of the leaves, look at how dirty it is. This is what I mean on how dirty it gets. So a little soak in the water there is probably not gonna do it. This feels a lot like clay. So you do wanna kind of get in there and get it cleaned up. You know, run a fingernail through the seam if you want, or you can just cut that piece out. But this is how dirty leeks can get. So for the leek chips, I'm gonna cut off the ends here. They're kind of, these pieces are kind of, they're a little faded and wilty. So, but you can still use these to make a stock. So keep that in mind. And then I'm just cutting them in about an inch size piece. And I will open these up and go ahead and put them out on the tray for leek chips. I've also got the chips done here, so I'm gonna put these in the dehydrator as well. So those 4 leeks made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 trays. 6 trays of leeks, and I'm gonna add another 2 of just the green ends for this. I got all the trays in the dehydrator here, and I'm ready to dehydrate the leeks. So I've set my thermostat here for 135 degrees, and then I'm going to turn it up to 6 hours. I may check them after 4, but 6 hours seems to be a good sweet spot for the leeks. You don't want to over dehydrate them because they might kind of turn to dust, but 6 hours seems to be a good sweet spot. The leeks are done dehydrating. It finished up last night. How thin these were sliced, they were done in about 2 hours, maybe 3. And they dehydrated very quickly and very efficiently. The house smells really good as well. So I'm just taking them out and then just putting them in my container. It's kind of nice having these little, I don't know, plasticky tray covers, which are really nice. It makes it easy to get some of the stuff out. As you can see, I got a bunch out yesterday already. These little chips though, these took about 8 hours, I want to say. These are the thicker green swatches. Well, it looks like a swatch, but the thicker green ends, and they needed a little extra time. They're about 8 hours is what is how long these took, and they taste really good. If you like what is it, sour cream and onion potato chips or something like that, these are a great kind of chip substitute. I've been snacking on them, and you know, give you a little onion breath, but whatever. They're very good. They would be another great addition. You can crumble them up and put them in a super stew or on a salad or whatever, but these are very, very tasty, and they were really simple. Simple to throw into the dehydrator. So I did use some of these on steaks that we had last night for dinner, and it was delicious. They were a little mild. If I had to do these again, which I will do them again at some point, I would slice them a little bit thicker. On my food processor, I use I think it's 2mm. Next time I would use the 4mm just to get them a little bit thicker. And then it would probably take like 4 hours for these to dehydrate. But they're very good. And so this is what 4 leeks yielded me. A big jar like this, and a quart, and then another quart of just the green ends. And I didn't use all of the green ends because I ran out of space on in my tray. I had 9 trays in here, and these filled up 6 of the trays, and this just the green stems, ends of them filled up 3. So that gives you an idea of how many trays. That should help you out there. They're great. They're nice to have in house. So I will be putting these over salads, like I said, and any other protein. So the recipe for all of this is down below, which is a really simple recipe. And while you're down there, please hit like and subscribe. And if you have any questions, comments, suggestions, feedback, concerns, by all means, please reach out to me. I'm on Facebook at Stacey Can. You can at me on Instagram and TikTok at Stacey Can. My website is www.staceycancan.com, and my email is info@staceycancan.com. And I'm also on LinkedIn at Stacey Can. Thanks so much for joining me today, and until next time, happy canning.